Since 2011, over 470,000 Syrians have been killed and more than 2 million are injured. Close to 1 million live under siege. Half of the country has been displaced by violence.
Numbers are important, but they mean nothing unless we think of them as people, like Madame, 4 years old, who had a spinal cord injury from a shrapnel that will make her disabled for the rest of her life. Lamar, 7 months old, who is starving to death in Moldova under the siege. Or Hamza, 3 years old, who was killed by a sniper in Aleppo. These numbers represent children, women, and men who had lives, hopes, and aspirations just like us.
The Syrian people lost their homes, neighborhoods, families, jobs, education, heritage, and future. Turkey, Jordan, and Lebanon host the largest number of Syrian refugees, over 4.3 million. There was a biblical exodus of close to 500,000 Syrians to Europe. Most made it, and some did not. With these realities, it is hard to see a bright future for Syria.
But there is always hope.
There's always hope.
But there is always hope. In response to the catastrophic situation in Syria, Syrian diaspora in the United States have presented a solution, a model for other diasporas to follow when there is a conflict or disaster in their homeland.
Organizations in the Syrian American community from many cities and states are raising tens of millions of dollars in humanitarian and medical assistance and provided much needed advocacy to the public.
Early in the crisis, Syrian American diaspora organizations collaborated on many critical initiatives. They established a platform where they could support each other and share their knowledge and understanding of best practices. So they formed the American Relief Coalition for Syria, or ARCS, on December 2012.
We formed ARCS to give a collective voice to Syrian American humanitarian. Cooperation is key, and ARCS allows us to invest more effectively in our future as Syrian people.
The American Relief Coalition for Syria, ARCS, is a coalition of over a dozen Syrian diaspora-led humanitarian organizations that provide multi-sector relief inside of Syria, as well as assistance and services to Syrian refugees in regional host countries and in the United States. Together, the efforts of ARCS organizations help millions of Syrians, both those who remain in Syria and those displaced as refugees. ARCS programs cover the full range of humanitarian sectors, including health, psychosocial support, community services, education, food and non-food items, protection, water, sanitation, hygiene, and support for women's services.
SAMS and SRD built hospitals and clinics and provided free health care to hundreds of thousands of Syrians.
SAMS has also carried out hundreds of medical missions, supported and provided training to Syrian doctors and nurses, and started telemedicine programs to reach besieged hospitals. Syrian American Engineers Association built much-needed infrastructure for relief work and provided creative solutions to make communities more resilient in disaster areas. Rama, New Day Syria, Swazia, Hope for Syria, and Sham Relief collected and sent tons of life-saving material, food, clothing, and tents to disaster-stricken areas and trapped populations inside Syria. Others like Mercy Without Limit, Karam Foundation, Syria Forum, and Syrian Expatriates Organization supported hundreds of schools and orphanages and invested in developing skills and jobs for Syrian children and refugees. While some, like the Syrian Community Network, helped to resettle Syrian refugees in the U.S.
ARCS members create jobs, address local community needs, in education and healthcare, and counteracted extremisms by planting seeds of hope.
From rural Idlib to besieged Madaya, from Amman to Gaziantep, working with local Syrians have allowed our programs to reach even the most dangerous places.
While we send humanitarian assistance, we must also look at the future. ARC's vision is to develop the creativity, education, skills, and hope for all Syrians.
We must not stop at providing aid alone. We must invest in Syria's future.
It's our duty.
It's our duty.
It is our duty.
Invest in Syria's future by donating to ARCS and its members today.